Welcome to my channel. This is Mario Lloyd, also known as Real Estate Guru PK. On this channel, we talk about my real estate endeavors. We also have the top real estate producers and the top entrepreneurs in the country. Be sure to click the link below with Justin P with his Support Black Colleges marketing course. Also with Jason White's Crack the Code affiliate link, click that below as well. Also to support the channel, Webull, M1 Finance, Chase, Discover, Robinhood, and Public, a stock trading app. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Real Estate Guru PK signing out. How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Guru PK podcast. I got a special guest, Calvin Cannon Jr. I literally just met him this weekend, straight out of Philly.
Yeah.
He got like 72 rental properties. He's like, what, over like 10, 15 years?
I've been in real estate for 31 years.
31 years? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
31
cool.
years in real estate.
So where you want to start? What play you want to start?
Oh, man, we can start from the beginning, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about your story.
Yeah, for sure. From Philly, 215, born and raised, been doing real estate since 1991.
Mm-hmm.
Got my first property when I was going to Temple University. Got a stipend check from college. Used that stipend check to buy my first duplex.
How much was that?
$5,000.
That was it?
Yeah, it was $5,000. So when you're in college, right? You get something like a stipend check is basically what you get to get your books, your food, and for your room and board.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I was trying to get out my parents' house, right? So I applied for my stipend check, but I applied really, really late for the semester. So that means that I didn't get it at the same time that everybody else got theirs. So when mine's finally came, the semester was over. So I'm sitting on a check of $5,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 17 years old. So, it was a little special to me. So I wanted to get out my parents' house. I found a duplex for $5,000. So I acquired that, stayed there for about 6 months, out of my parents' house. And then, a professional pharmaceutical gentleman, was running his own pharmaceutical company. He saw me leaving out the house one day and was like, he wanted to buy that for $60,000.
$60,000?
$60,000. So now this is back in the 90s. So, and in my mindset, I'm thinking like, this is a good thing, right? 17, 18-year-old kid with $60,000. I thought that was it. I thought I made it.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold the property to him, and I find out about 4 or 5 years later that that same property was worth over $250,000. And then now even today, the property's worth now over $450,000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I got started. My first real estate deal was not a great deal.
But I mean, you flipped that 60 though, right?
I mean, I flipped the 50. I'm sorry, I flipped the 5. I got the 60, right? So then I flipped the 60 and I went and bought some more quads and some more single family homes. But had I had a mentor, if I had somebody that can teach me all about real estate and somebody to tell me, hey, listen, young fella, hold tight on that duplex, don't sell so fast, right? Hold on for a little bit because real estate always goes up. Had I known that and had the guidance to be able to have a little bit of patience, instead of getting 60, I could have got 450.
Mm-hmm.
So my portfolio, instead of being 72 doors, it could have been maybe over 100 doors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just having that experience taught me how to be a better investor. Taught me how to learn the real estate game a little bit better. At that time, I started buying other properties, started renting them out. Then I finally did get a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Then that mentor, got a gentleman by the name of George Anderson. He taught me how to start putting properties into my LLC versus just putting them in my name. So then I started learning how to leverage the LLC game. And then at that point, I just, I never turned back.
How many LLCs you got?
Right now I'm sitting on about 15 LLCs.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the LLC play.
yeah, for sure. We
was talking about mentorship, and you was talking about getting an LLC just for mentorship.
Yeah.
So how if somebody got an LLC just for mentorship, how would they go about it?
So, when it comes to the LLCs, right, a lot of people talk about LLCs and we develop LLCs, but we don't utilize them the proper way all the time, right? So, if you think about an LLC, which is a limited liability company, how I look at it is if, when people get Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, and things like that, instead of buying liabilities to give your loved ones, you really should be giving your loved ones LLCs, right? So if you're trying to get an LLC for mentorship, right, you will create that LLC. You will put some time into the LLC. So what we call is your LLC being seasoned, right? And the bank call it your LLC just having some age on it. But even a brand new LLC, if you get into real estate, your LLC doesn't have to be seasoned at all. If you're looking for funding for your LLC have to be at least seasoned for 12 months to 24 months, which is a year to 2 years if you want to get a line of credit. If you're just looking to get a business credit card, your LLC can actually be seasoned for a few months. That way you can just apply for the business credit card. So if you're somebody that's trying to look to leverage your LLC, leverage your business, right, you get that LLC, you let it season up, and then you go to the bank, you apply for something called a no-doc loan. And inside of this no-doc loan play, right, the bank give you up to $49,999 for one LLC. So you can imagine if you got multiple LLCs, how much more money that you can gather up and put in the bank.
Okay. Why do you give out so much game for free? Like we'll sit at the table and it was like this random guy just sat with us and he just was like talking to us and like the plays you're giving him, I was thinking in my head like you should have charged him, like told him to pull out his credit card real quick.
So you know what? For me, you know, my life hasn't always been the most smoothest life ever, right? So you know, I had some challenges, you know, medical conditions where I made a promise to God that if he put me back on my feet and allow me to continue to bless the people and bless his children, that I will pour out and give everything that I got, right? So so many times, so many people give up information and they charge you for it. My goal is that my free information is going to be better than some people paid information. Saying so yeah. So I like to give to the people because, you know, when you help somebody get to the next level, that's only blessings coming back for more blessings. So I believe in blessing the people.
Okay. We was talking about I was talking about my halfway house. I was telling you, I was getting $500 a door, and then you said you get $900 a door on one of yours. Yeah. And then you was talking about the kitchen play.
Oh yeah. So a lot of times, like for me myself, being an investor, I always keep a diverse portfolio. So what that means is that, you know, I keep maybe some Section 8 government housing. I'll keep some conventional tenant, which is your traditional tenant that will pay regular rent. I will keep some VA tenants. Right. So one of my VA plays that I do in Philadelphia, I have a 3-bedroom house. Inside of that home, I'm going to rent out my rooms per room, $900 per room. So, you know, when you take that $900 times 3, that's $2,700. But inside of my lease, right. So one of the things I teach in my Octagon business strategy program is that we teach you to block off the kitchen, not physically block it off, but you block it off with your lease and your documentations. So the person that you're renting to does not have access to the kitchen. So when you don't have access to the kitchen, now you can sell platters 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner at $12 a pop. So 12 times 3 is $36, right? So you take the $36 and you time it by 7 times the 3 people that's inside of the rooming house, you know, so now you're talking about an extra $700, you know, $750 per month to go towards that residual income of the $2,700 that you already get.
Okay.
Yeah, so we break the play down nice.
Okay. Can we talk about like how much money you paid for mentorship and how come you spend so much doing it?
So, you know, a lot of times people don't believe in paying, right? So one of my mentors taught me is that when you don't pay attention. So, you know, I took a vow that I'm going to invest in myself. I can't continue to teach other people if I'm not learning more information myself. So within the last 2 years, I've probably spent anywhere over $250,000 to $300,000 just in mentorship. Right? Just getting in a room, just getting some information from individuals. Because, you know, when you get into the right room and you're around people that talk like you, walk like you, grind like you, right? It's going to rub off on you too, whereas though you're going to elevate your business to get to the next level. If you still sitting around broke friends, you're going to be the next broke friend.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, millionaires talk different. Right. So when you're in a room full of millionaires, it's not the same conversation you are when you're sitting at, you know, on the corner with somebody, or if you're just sitting in the club with somebody, or if you're just sitting online with somebody. Millionaire conversation is different. You know what I mean? So I had to get my ears around millionaire conversations so I can get my vocabulary, I can get my words right, I can get my actions right, so I can start building my companies to $1 million companies. And that's what I did.
You want to talk about your upbringing a little bit? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, with your moms and everything?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm born and raised, you know, in Philadelphia. My mom, you know, was a single mom. My dad was around, right? So he was there But my dad was in the nightlife. So my dad owned 3 bars in Philadelphia, and being as though he owned those bars, he was always out on the late night. So my mom really wasn't going for that, right? It's just, strong Black woman. She, you ain't in the house by 1, 2 o'clock. She ain't going for that. So eventually my parents split up. And my dad always been an entrepreneur. My mom was the vice president of Colonial Penn Insurance Company for a while. And then, she retired. So I've always had the entrepreneur spirit in me. But just watching my mom grind and watching my mom every day go to work, and she never asked her mom, which would be my grandmom, for anything, right? So my mom taught me that you got to go out and get it. Only thing you have to ask people is questions and directions. The grind and being able to get to the next level is all within you. You can get the information, but the grind is so separately. So I watched my mom do what she did. So that put me in position to make sure that once I got in position to do the right things, that I'm retiring my whole entire family. It started with my mom. Once I started making the right amount of money, I retired my mom. I paid off all her debt, all her bills, and then, put her in her dream house, so that way she can live the rest of her life feeling debt free and feeling free that she can do what she want to do.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks on that, King.
All right. Can we talk about the octagon?
Oh, yeah. So the Octagon Business Strategy is the academy that I have, and what we do is we teach entrepreneurs how to have creative ways of getting wealth by means through real estate. So in the Octagon Business Strategy, I'm teaching you how to go back to the foundation, and the foundation is your LLC. Sometimes we jump into businesses and we do different things, but we forget about to go back and go back and get our breakfast, right? So that breakfast and structuring your LLC is what's going to help you leverage your LLC to the next level. So we teach you how to build your LLC the proper way. Then we teach you how to have an LLC formation company. So everything that I teach you how to do. Then I teach you how to take your LLC and get funding. Teach you how to get as much funding as you can get. And then we transition that funding into real estate. And then from real estate, you can transition to property management. You can transition to Airbnb. Real estate is just a tool, right? Money isn't the end all be all. A lot of people want to be rich, but rich is not the goal, right? Money is a tool to open up the door for wealth for you to be able to control your time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Octagon Business Strategy is all about, helping you understand the wealth, right? So, one thing that people always say is that, do money grow on trees? And money grows on trees when you plant seeds. So you got to plant those seeds from the origination of where your foundation is, which is the LLC, so you can continue to have generational wealth from time after time and time after time.
What does OPM mean to you?
Other people's money, right? So a lot of times we step into things and we use our own financials and our own financing, right? You don't want to do that, right? So a lot of times, even from my upbringing, watching my mom, everybody like to use cash, right? And I got to teach people all the time that cash is trash, right? Cash is trash. And they say, oh, well, what about credit then, cash flow? And I say, listen, credit is the cousin of cash. So that makes credit a trashy cousin, right? The key to success is cash flow. Cash flow is king. So once you are able to acquire a certain dollar amount on your own, you take that dollar amount to a financial institution and let them match that. And then the profit that you get, you place that profit into a whole life insurance policy, an IUL, and then you pull out of the IUL where you're paying yourself back. So that way you become your own bank. So you go from OPM to BYOB.
BYOB?
Yeah, be your own bank.
Can you talk about the Bank of America play?
Yeah. So with Bank of America, so Bank of America is an institution that will lend out to small businesses, right? So a lot of people that's tapping into like Turo and doing different things like that, they might go to Navy Federal or they'll go to Bank of America. With Bank of America, though, they'll give you a lease fleet loan where you can get multiple vehicles on top of that loan. So you don't have to worry about getting one Turo car if you want to run the Turo play. You can go to Bank of America and get a fleet loan where you can get multiple cars and you can get started in the business a little bit faster.
Okay. But that's just something. How's we talked about Philly a little bit. Like you got most of your rental properties in Philly, right?
Yes, sir.
And then we're talking about going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then you said like you couldn't go to Cleveland because you gotta like physically touch everything, you gotta see everything, you gotta understand the numbers.
Absolutely. So, you can buy real estate from anywhere as long as the numbers make sense. But somebody like me, like I don't teach what I don't do. Right, you got a lot of entrepreneurs out here, and I try to let people know that it's cool to be an entrepreneur. But for me, I'm a dopreneur, right? So everything that I talk about, I do. So in order for me to go buy in another state, I would like to go to that particular state, find out what's going on with the market, check the ARVs, make sure that it makes sense, and then I'm going to invest. I don't like to do blind investments because that's where you make a lot of your mistakes, right? So even though I know we're going to go to Cleveland and we're going to pick up some properties, I want to go out there first. You know, I want to check out the land, right? I want to build my sandbox out there so I know how to play the game. Some people don't have to go out there. Some people just buy because the numbers online make sense. But you make a lot of errors by doing that, and you take a lot of lessons. So for me, because I'm not familiar with the area, I'm going to take the investment within myself to fly out there, find out what's going on, link with some people that's out there that's already doing it, pick their brain, right? Invest into them, right? Add some value. I don't want to just go out there to take information. I'm going to go out there, sign up for some mentorship, sign up for some programs, right? Invest into some of the people that's in the Cleveland area so they can teach me how to walk through the walk and make sure that I'm investing the proper way.
Man, I had a long drawn out eviction like a couple of years ago.
Oh man.
And you basically told me I could have got rid of him faster because he had a dog.
Yeah, so one of the things that we teach in my academy in the Octagon Business Strategy is that when the pandemic hit and a lot of tenants, either forced or decide not to pay their rent. One thing that happens when people start going after financial attributes, right? Tenants not paying their rent, the first thing you thinking is, I want my money, right? But when you think about the situation, the money is already gone. The tenant already stopped paying. So instead of you going after the money, you go after the rules and regulations of your lease. So when you go to court and you ask for, you're asking the judge to give you a judgment because the tenant didn't pay. Well, with the memorandum that kicked in, the tenants were protected. The landlords weren't protected. So what I did was I strategized with my attorney, and my attorney told me, he said, listen, if you're willing not to go after the money, and you're willing to go after the rules and regulations, we can get this person out in 2 weeks. I said, during a pandemic, absolutely. So when I went to the courtroom, I didn't ask for the money back. I asked to have the tenant removed because the tenant had a pet, and inside of my lease, it says no pets. My tenant downstairs is allergic to cats. So I told the judge, listen, they got to go. The judge awarded me the eviction. I had the person out within 2 to 3 weeks.
How many of those did you do?
We did about 4 of them during the pandemic.
Okay. So you didn't miss a beat then?
Didn't miss a beat. I mean, it cost me money for the attorney, but I didn't miss anything because I didn't ask for any money, right? So a lot of times, when you want the money, rules and regulations come with that, because if somebody's having a hardship, there isn't a hardship for you to have a cat that's illegal, that's not on your lease. When you break a lease rule and regulation that's not attached to something financial, that's not a hardship. But the court system, the reason why a lot of landlords don't win is because they go after something that's financial, which the tenant can prove that they're having a hardship right now. So what attorneys and lawyers do and judges do, they give the tenant more time. You don't need more time to get rid of a cat, right? You don't need more time to get rid of a dog. You don't need more time to change a violation that you have on a lease. Now, some judges may say, well, can you get rid of the cat? Now, if you don't have a plan B, right? And my plan B was the tenant downstairs is allergic. So that means that even if you get rid of the cat, I got to go in and inspect the building. I got to make sure all the cat scent is out of there. So to make things a little bit better, I don't want you to get rid of your cat. I want you to leave together. The cat is part of your family. So you and the cat can go somewhere else because you're not supposed to have a cat. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how you got to kind of look at the situation. But the whole key is we got to stop going after the money. The money is gone. The more time you chase money and you know that you're not going to get it, right? So let's say the judge do award you to get the money for the eviction. It's going to cost the landlord more money to get the money from the tenant. You have to file for the money, right? And then even once you win the filing of the judgment, and let's say the tenant does pay you, now you got to go back to court and release the judgment off the tenant, which is costing you more money. So if you calculate all the times you go into court, money for an attorney, the money that for the fees and filing for paperwork, by the time you get your money back, it's already spent. So I don't go after the financial attributions. My thing is time. I got more time. I got less time. I got more time behind me than I got in front of me, right? More time behind me than I got in front of me. I don't have time to be chasing somebody wasting time. Time is of the essence. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times people think that you're going to live to 100. People don't live to 100 these days anymore. So sometimes when we look at it and we say that, the midlife of your life being halfway over is the age of 50, right? Or you over the hill when you at 50. Well, that's no longer true anymore, right? The midlife is at 35. Most people only live into 65 to 70. And if you get to 65, 70, you really blessed. So if we keep thinking in our mindset that we got to live to 100, we never going to make it. So we work in these jobs, we stay in a position to make sure that we get to 50, and because we think we got another 50 coming, and we don't have another 50 coming.
Let's talk about jobs real quick.
Yes, sir, let's do it.
All right, so you was talking about you got sick and
yeah.
You got sick and before you even like asked for like time off, they already had your job like
yeah.
already like trying to hire somebody else already before you even came back.
Yeah, so I was working for a corporation, a company. I gave a corporation about 20 years in my life. During that time when I was working, I had got diagnosed with prostate cancer, right? So I was battling my life. You know, I was on my deathbed. I called my job, I called my supervisor, and I'm like, listen, you know, I just got diagnosed with cancer, and then, you know, I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be. My job called me and said, how much time do you think you need? I said, excuse me? They said, how much time do you think? I said, I just told you I got cancer. I don't know how much time I'm going to need, right? So what I learned during that process is that, you know, jobs will have your job posting on the posting board before the ink on your obituary dries, right? Sometimes you at work and you're training your replacement, right? Mm-hmm. Your job is saying, hey, listen, you're going to be training this particular person this week. And then you find out later that person that person came to the job to replace you. Right? So we spend so much time and so much energy inside of these jobs, not knowing that the job is holding us back. I ask people all the time, what's the difference between your job and prison? Right? They're both institutionalized systems. They're both institutionalized facilities, right? Every day you on a highway driving to work, you're driving to work with the same group of people who you are imprisoned with at your job. They tell you when to take a lunch break. They tell you when to take your lunch break. They tell you when you got to punch in. They tell you when you got to punch out, right? They tell you that after 4 hours, you get a 15-minute break. After 6 hours, you get a 30-minute lunch. Another 2 hours, you get another 15-minute break. What's the difference between your job and being in prison? Prison direct you and tell you where you got to go. The only thing is different is that you get to go home on parole at the end of the day. But are you really on parole? Right? When you go home, your mindset is still thinking about your job. Your days off, you still focused on your job. Right? So when you take that mindset to understand that just because I'm not incarcerated inside of a correctional facility, you're incarcerated inside of your job. That job is that correctional facility that you dedicate all your time and your work to, right? People say to work till you get to age 63 and 65. People tell you to work to put money into your 401k and your job is going to match it. I got a letter when I finally fired my boss, right? Finally fired my boss. I got a letter in the mail, and the letter said that if you retire today right now, you will get a lifetime pension monthly for $275. If you wait till you 65, we're going to give you $765. Nobody's promised to live to 65. But look how many, I put 20 years into a job that they're only going to pay me 200 and some change. I can't live my life like that, right? When I finally left my job, I was making over 6 figures. I finally left my job, right? Fired my boss. I doubled my salary in 6 months. And the reason how I did it is because I bet on me. I got tired of betting on other people. I got tired of going to the job and helping them, you know, reach their numbers to the next plateau, right? So my job was going in, I'm looking at P&L statements, I'm bringing in sales, I'm making sure that the job make money. So this job is a multi-million-dollar company that's running off of my skill set. So now when you dedicate that same energy and time to yourself, you can make your own LLC. You can make your own company a multi-million-dollar company by betting and investing in yourself.
So when you quit, you literally just hit the ground running, and you like what happened? Like,
yeah,
what was like your first steps after you quit?
So no, I didn't, and it's scary, right? Because when you work at a job, you get a guaranteed paycheck, right? Correct. So one thing that everybody got to understand is that you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? You can't commit yourself to this one particular check. So when I first left my job, well, I didn't even leave right away. So I knew that if I was bringing in $1,000 a week, I had to make that $1,000 make sense to me mentally. So what I did was, once I learned the LLC strategies, if I got one LLC and I called that LLC Quit My Job LLC, right? I go to the bank, I get me a $50,000 no doc loan. I go to the bank, I get me a $25,000 business credit card.
What was your credit score at the time?
At that time, my credit score was probably maybe like a 715.
Oh, okay. So you was good.
Yeah. I was good. Good. Yeah, my credit score was a 715. So I got the $50,000 in a no doc loan line of credit. So the line of credit means that it's revolving. I can use this repeatedly. Then I went back and got me a $25,000 business credit card. Now, mind you, any type of business funding does not show on my personal credit profile. So now I'm sitting on $75,000. This is half of my salary. So that means that when I left work, I was able to have 6 months on reserve that I can utilize in order for me to get on my feet. Even after I left, I still got nervous, right? I was going to tap into the storage industry. So what I did was I left my job and I took a part-time job at a storage facility to learn their business. I was making peanuts, didn't even cash the checks, right? So they was paying me, I don't know, maybe $15, $16, $17 an hour, right? I wasn't there for the money. I was there for the experience. So once I learned the storage space industry, I started investing. So that's my next investment, is to get my own storage facility. Right. But I let go the corporate job because I understood that if I can make 50% of my salary within 30 days, I had another 5 months to make it work. And I knew that I was going to make it work. There was no plan B. I don't believe in plan Bs. It's plan A all day. Was you in a relationship or married at this time? Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
So what was you thinking?
So for me and relationships and marriage, right? I've always been a provider, right? It's plenty of times that I ate ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because I had a mission, right? I didn't have no problem eating, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for 7 to 10 days or for 2 to 3 weeks, because in my mind, I knew where I had to go. But as long as I provided for my family to make sure everybody was straight, I was okay to starve. Because the starve gave me the hunger to keep grinding. Now, some previous relationships, people didn't understand my grind and my hustle, right? People looked at him and were like, oh, you don't have time for a relationship. No, I ain't got time to sit around, right? I don't got time to go sit at somebody else's table. I'm bringing in the table. So sometimes you got to separate yourself from certain relationships, because a lot of us were sleeping with the enemy.
That's true.
Right? If you can't sit down and talk to your significant other and give them the plan of action and they back you up 1,000%, then you got to reevaluate your circle, right? One of the things that I teach all the time is that a lot of people talk about family and loved ones, right? Blood just makes you related. Your bloodline that flows through your body, it just makes you related. Loyalty makes you family. So if you're not loyal to the soil, then you can't plant the seed to grow a money tree. Right? So I need people that's loyal to the soil so I can get everybody planted so we can grow these money trees. So yeah, it was a struggle, but it was well worth the struggle.
You got 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
Would you be mad if they had a job? They gotta be entrepreneurs.
Nah, they don't. So believe it or not, getting a job is probably one of the first things that you can do that's great, because your job is your first mentor. Your job sets the skill sets for you to start your business. What happens is that we get handicapped with the job and we stay with the job.
Okay.
The job is a stepping stone. That's why it's called a job. Just over broke, right? JOB is just over broke. So you got to make sure that when you getting inside of that job and you getting these skill sets, you have to be able to take these skill sets and level them up with an LLC. If I was working at McDonald's, right? I'm in the back cooking the fries. I get promoted to start flipping the burgers. I get promoted from flipping the burgers to going to the drive-through. So now that means that if I'm working for McDonald's Monday through Friday, on Saturday and Sunday, what am I doing? I'm not relaxing. I'm selling platters now, because I can make burgers good. I can make fries good, right? So I'm going to sell the platters until I can get my bank account up. I want to put my bank account on steroids. So that way I can go inside of McDonald's and be like, look, here go y'all 2 weeks notice. I'm done with y'all, right? So your job is your skill set. I learned how to read P&Ls from being in corporate America. I learned how to hire individuals from being at corporate America. I know how to budget $1 million projects by being at corporate America. I didn't learn that from YouTube. I didn't learn that from reading a book. I learned that from hands-on experience playing with somebody else's money. So your job is always going to be your skill set in order for you to leverage your business and your company.
So if you started over right now,
Yeah.
say you start over right now, say your credit score was like 680.
Yeah.
How would you start over?
That's a good question. That's a good question because guess what? When I first started out, before I leveled up, my credit score was probably a 520, right?
Okay.
But now from the information that I have acquired, a lot of people think that because your credit score is low, that you have to wait or you have to, try to figure this out. Like I was telling you before, blood makes you related, loyalty makes you family. If you ask yourself the last gift that you gave somebody or the last gift that somebody gave you, was that gift a liability or was that gift an asset? Right? We got to stop giving out liabilities and start giving out assets. The asset is giving your family members an LLC. Zoom is free. Let me repeat that. Zoom is free. So if you evaluate your circle and audit the people that's around you, the loyal people that's around you, if you send them and say, listen, next Sunday at 7 p.m., we're going to have a Zoom call. On top of that Zoom call, I want to know what your credit score is. I want to know, if Aunt Becky credit score is a 700 and Uncle Ray credit score is an 800, you don't have to be the person with the credit score. You the person with the information, right? So if you got the information, you can line up any play that you want to do. You can use an operational agreement and use your aunt and your uncle to be inside of your business. Now your business got a credit score of 700 or above. You can take that to the bank and cash out.
What do you think about Navy Federal? What would you do with Navy Federal?
So with Navy Federal, right? Navy Federal give loans out for Airbnb. I'm sorry, not Airbnb, for Turo. Navy Federal is a great bank. I would say that you want to build your relationship with Navy Federal so you can get the Navy Federal business credit card, right? You can do the Navy Federal statement play, whereas though whatever money that you put inside the bank, Navy Federal will give you a statement loan based on your bank account where you can utilize their money. And then you can take the money out of that and utilize OPM so you don't have to use your own funds. So I definitely like Navy Federal.
How many bank accounts you got?
Right now, I probably got about 7 bank accounts.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
How many credit cards you got?
That's a good one. So my personal credit cards, I have 1 personal credit card.
Okay.
And I got 1 personal line of credit. I probably have about 25 business credit cards.
Okay. So everything's just business.
Yeah. So I need y'all to understand this, right? You only got to do one thing once, right? And once mean own nothing, control everything, right? Own nothing, control everything. You want to become a ghost, right? You want to become a ghost. You don't want to have no liability in your name. Everything has to be inside of your LLC.
Okay. How much available credit you got?
Available credit right now, if I had to calculate it, I probably have over about 2 million.
2 million?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because you got to keep in mind, my credit is not just based on credit cards, right? It's credit cards, lines of credit. Right? So, every time I purchase a property, I'm putting down 20-25%. So my strategy for purchasing properties are, the first play that I do is I do FHA. Because FHA, I'm going to buy me a multifamily property. I'm going to use that multifamily property to get cash flow, right? After the FHA play, I buy 1 single family, I buy 2 multifamilies, and then the next property I do a flip. So every time that I buy that property and do a flip, I'm knocking down the mortgage on the property, and then I leverage the mortgage with a line of credit. So between my line of credits, between my credit cards, between my home equity loans, yeah, we sitting about a good $2 million, sorry.
How much you made off your clothing line?
Clothing line?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love clothing line, right? So my clothing line, so that's really my son's company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my 10-year-old owns the apparel company. We probably bringing in about a good 30-40K a year.
Okay.
Yeah, for that. Because we don't push it as hard as I like to, but now that I'm going on tour, as y'all see, how we leveling up, right? So we gonna have that dropping. The goal is to try to take that to 6 figures. He's 10 years old. By the time he turned 18, that he needs to be bringing in multiple 6 figures off of that.
Okay. How many mentees you got?
Oh man. So mentees I got in my community, probably over 100.
Over 100?
Yeah, over 100 mentees.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't, I got to correct you there because I don't call them mentees, right? So one thing about it is that when you look at a mentee is a follower. When everybody growing up is a mentee, right? When as you was growing up, first you started off with your parents. Your parents mentored you, so you was a mentee to your parents. Then you went to school. Your teachers was your mentor, so you was a mentee to the people in your school. But when you look at a mentee is a follower. A mentee follow person to person to person to person. I don't breed mentees. I breed leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, you got to graduate from being a mentee and become a leader. So in the Octagon Business Strategy Academy, we don't have mentees. We have leaders because I'm teaching people how to lead. I don't want anybody to just want to be a mentee because you're going to be a follower. I don't want you to be a follower. I want you to understand on how to lead.
Okay. All right, listen, I'm going to go through either or.
Okay,
and
let's
after
do
that,
it.
we done. We're going to go get some lead.
Yeah, let's go bust a grab.
Cool. Rental property or Airbnb?
Rental property.
Stocks or NFTs?
NFTs.
Okay. Why NFTs?
Because, stocks is a little tricky. Okay. Right? And I think NFT, the reason, so if you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I would have said stocks. Okay. Right? Because I already got my money in stocks, I'm going to play with NFTs right now because it's something new. Okay. So I'm always out to try to venture out to something new.
Okay. Who put you on the NFTs?
Oh man, so I got a mentor. Again, like I'm always in the space of being a learning. I got a mentor by the name of the millionaire barber, my man Chen. He's doing NFTs.
He got that
every day.
He got that monkey on his profile.
He got that monkey on his profile,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So Chen, he tapped into different people. So I started tapping into Chen, and just following his lead, right? So I'm not educated enough on it where I can teach it, but I'm definitely educated enough that I'm going to learn it.
Okay. Earn your leisure or sleep is for suckers?
Oh man. I'm gonna say both, man, because I rock with both of them, man. Shan is my guy. You know what I mean? And Earn Your Leisure is pretty tight too. So I can't say one is better than the other. So I like both of those podcasts. Any platform that's helping people get information, I'm rocking with you.
Okay. 2 million followers or a rental property?
Rental property all day. Forget them followers. Listen. so listen, I got to say this to y'all, right? Because we so caught up with following people, right? But if you ever see me on live, I tell you all the time, don't share this live out with people that you follow. Share this live out with people that you care about. You know what I'm saying? Because them followers ain't loyal. That rental property, that's going to bring me in cash flow. Yeah, I can try to monetize the 2 million followers, but the rental property is the sure shot. Right. Okay. So I'd rather have the rental property over the 2 million followers all day.
850 credit score or $1 million?
850 credit score. Okay. 850 credit score is gonna get me over $1 million.
Okay. Tour or Airbnb?
I'm gonna have to go with Airbnb because I'm a real estate guy.
Okay. Ramaya or Runway Billionaire?
Ramaya or Runway Billionaire? I'm not even sure who Ramaya is, and Runway's my guy. So you know what I'm saying. So I got to run with Runway because that's the hometown right there. No offense to Ramaya. You know what I'm saying. I haven't connected with the king yet. So you know what I mean. But Runway's my guy. So hometown all day.
Chris Askins or Douglas Depty?
Doug Depp.
Yeah, Doug Depp.
You know what I'm saying. So Chris Askins, I met Chris today. Chris is a thoroughbred. I like Chris. But Doug from the 215, baby. So you know what I mean? I got to run with my man Doug Depp.
Okay. Tempest Nicole or Atlanta Hair Doctor?
Oh man. I mean, Tempest Nicole was good. I like her. She carried the monkey on her shoulder all the time. Good folks, you know what I'm saying? Airbnb. But Atlanta Hair Doctor is the family. You know what I'm saying? She the Atlanta Hair Doctor is rocking with my guy Chen, and that's the family. So, I'm loyal to the soil.
Okay. Millionaire Barber or the Boat Goat?
Oh man, both of them my guys. Both of them my guys. So you know what I mean. I rock with Shad. You know what I mean. Shad is my guy. Millionaire Barber is my guy. So I mean, for them two, I got to say both because they both my guys. Yeah.
I like them both. Neil or Carter Cofield?
I mean, you always got to go with the mentor over the mentee. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So Carter is in the inner circle as well as myself. So we got to go with Neil because he's the mentor. But Carter's my guy.
Welby or Kamoy Martin?
Welby or Kamoy?
Yeah, at my best.
Yeah. So Kamoy's my guy, right? So Kamoy's my guy with the Airbnb. Welby's family though. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I gotta probably choose both because Kamoy is tight, right? I like Kamoy, he do his thing, but Welby's a beast with the real estate. You know what I'm saying?
He is.
You know, Welby's my guy.
CEO First Lady or him 500?
Oh man. So CEO First Lady, I mean, that's family. You know what I'm saying? That's family. Him 500 is family too. You know, love both of them. Different perspectives, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I guess I'll have to say in the morning time I'm rocking with him, and at night I'm rocking with CEO First Lady, you know what I'm saying? But you know, they both good people. Both good people.
Marvin Mitchell or Doug Clark?
Oh man. So I mean, Marvin Mitchell is family too. Doug Clark, you know, I'm just learning about Doug Clark. That's a tough one. I mean, Doug is tight. Doug is tight, but you know, Marvin teaching about the bank.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know, so Marvin's the bank. So, man, I don't know if I can split hairs with that one, man, because both of them brothers are sharp.
Okay.
Both of them brothers are sharp.
That's it, King.
Oh man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks. It's a pleasure and an honor to have me out in Houston, man. And look, I just want to tell y'all, you know, everybody that's out there following me on my social media platform at Calvin Cannon Jr. on all social media platforms. Make sure y'all tap into this podcast, y'all, because you know the King right here is giving up this information, giving it out to y'all, making sure that you know y'all getting what y'all need to get to the next level. So how we leveling up? Let's stay tapped in, y'all, and apply pressure all year. 2022, we going up.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.